Hello, my loves. I'm getting ready to go to the gym. It's the beginning of week 3, and I'm sorry I'm going to be like changing my tune a lot, I guess, on this journey because I mean, this is me going through the trial and errors and, trying to figure everything out. But, I think what it is really about having direction in life, this whole weight loss thing, at least for me, because I think it comes down to like figuring out why, because we all know diet and exercise is where it's at, and we all know portion control. I know what my portion should look like. I know what foods I should be eating, but it's like, why don't I just do it? And that's what, like, I guess I really have had to ask myself is like, well, why don't I just do it and really figure out why? And for me, I think the gist of it is, to sum it up, is really like having direction in life, because every time I've lost weight, as long as I've kept it up or kept the weight off, like I've had something that I was like going for. And it's not that I don't have like direction in life, because my husband and I love saying husband, that does not get old, but we have goals and things we want to accomplish, and it's not that we don't, or I don't have direction, but I think it's about me having direction in life for myself, like who I want to be as a person, who I want to accomplish as a person, just having that real desire and focus towards something just on myself. And I think that's hard because it's easy to just like, I've got work, I've got regular life, like spending time with people I love, just regular day-to-day life stuff, that it is hard to be like keep my focus on the things I want to accomplish. And I think that means me having to make it more of a priority, which unfortunately means saying no to some other things, which is really hard for me, because making memories with people that I love and being able to like just support myself with work and all that stuff is like so important for day to day. And so it is really hard to, it's easy to be like, okay, I'm gonna focus on myself and all that good stuff. It sounds good, but it as I'm like, as you guys have watched the past 2 weeks videos, as I'm like trying to put it in action, because it's one thing for me to know something and it's different for me to actually do it on a consistent basis. It is like it's a skill. Like I have to it's a skill I'm trying to develop, and I'm trying to really ingrain it in my head. And the whole reason why I wanted to like get on here and talk to you guys, because I had a moment earlier this morning where I got a glimpse in the mirror, and it's just like, I gotta get this weight off. And it was kind of like a red flag, because every time I'm reminded of like how frustrated I am with my weight, and how I'm like so ready to get the weight off and get back to just feeling like myself and looking like myself. Every time I do that, the next link in the chain for me is usually, I'm pretty good on my exercise. That's pretty much habit now. But the biggest part when it comes to losing weight is the diet, is like what you put in, because the bottom line is taking in less burning more calories than I'm taking in. And so the next thing that I go to is like, all right, Shalina, get your portion control in. So every time I get a little frustrated about my weight, or I'm reminded about how much I want to lose weight, which happens throughout the day all the time for me now, like it's getting pretty strong, because I'm almost I'm 6 pounds away from my highest weight ever. So it's getting pretty strong, and every time I do that, my next thought is, get that diet under control, Shalina, get that diet. Okay, we're gonna get the diet under control. And my appetite has been better since I did my whole turning point video, since I was like, okay, I've got to have something that I don't want to do, work towards things, and I'm kind of like not shifting it, but adding to it. And maybe it's the biggest part is having the direction and the drive. But so now I'm actively trying to shift my mind and ingrain those things. And so I noticed this morning when I was like frustrated with my weight, I was like, all right, diet, I gotta fix the diet. And I had to like acknowledge it and be like, okay, don't focus on the diet as like crazy as that sounds, I think this is it for me. Don't focus on the diet. Focus on what's going to get you to follow through with the diet, which means focusing on the direction that I want to have in my life. What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to do? All of that kind of stuff. And so I think that's the most important part. And so I'm trying to reprogram my mind and develop the skill to, when I'm frustrated with my weight, to always, instead of go to fix your diet, go to get that direction and that drive and who you want to be and what you want to accomplish priority in your life. And I'm trying to reassociate those things. So that's my new thing now. Every time I get frustrated about how I look or my weight or whatever, I have to acknowledge when I say fix that diet, because really what I need to do is focus on the drive and ambition and who I want to be and what do I want to accomplish for myself in life. And that's, for me, the real juice of it, I think. And, sorry, I'm trying to like remember all the stuff that came to my mind. But that's the real important stuff for me, is to really have those goals, because it comes back to, asking myself, why am I not following through with eating certain things? Why am I not following through with portion control? Like the other morning when I was like, oh, what do I want to eat? I just kind of want to be lazy today and just relax and order some food. And then I was like, well, Shalina, am I really focused on pushing and developing myself? And I was like, no, I'm not. Okay, let me start with something small, with some small things I can accomplish today. And my to-do list helps me a lot with that. I love the Todoist app, by the way, because I can put things on there, and it's just like, I put little things like do the dishes, make the bed, and every time I check it off the list, it makes me feel good. So needless to say, I started getting stuff done. I started working on videos and YouTube, and I didn't end up ordering food. I ate pretty decent. I don't remember what I ate, but it wasn't like, let's chill out all day and watch food. So, I mean, it works for me. And now it's just a matter of, I think, developing the skill where it's so ingrained that my life looks more like obsessing over these goals that I have for myself and working towards them and building towards them, because that's how my life is when I'm in better shape. So that's what I have to work on. And so, yeah, that's really it. It's just focusing on like making that drive a priority. And I'm realizing, like, now that I'm trying to put it in action, how hard it really is, because you gotta go to work. I'm going to the gym regularly. You gotta spend time with your loved ones. I mean, so it's kind of like, it is hard. And so maybe that means kind of saying no sometimes, and that's hard. But I think it's more important and more beneficial for me and those around me when I do have that ambition and not that I don't have ambition, but when I really have these things that I want to accomplish a priority. So that's what I'm working on, is trying to put that, maybe not number one, but in the top 3 priorities, making it a big focus. Yeah, so sorry, there's something else I wanted to say that I can't remember. But yeah, so I'm really trying to make that a focus, pushing through that. And so, like, I think one of the reasons maybe why I would gain the weight back previously is because, it was like my focus was getting the weight off and achieving this goal with my weight. And I would push and push and push. And then once I would get there, sometimes I'd stay there for a month, sometimes a few months, sometimes a year. And then it would eventually come back. And I think the reason for that is because I need to plan 2 steps ahead always. Like, once I hit one goal, go ahead and have my other goal. And then that way, once I hit one goal, it's not me not having any direction anymore. There's always new and more things to accomplish and achieve in life. And I want that kind of stuff for myself, to achieve all whatever milestones are important to me and excites me and I think are fun, to really, knock out as many as I can, because life is short. And, what better way to like feel so good by achieving these things, and it helped me lose weight. Because I truly feel like this is the secret for me, that, you know, when I don't have that direction in life, when I'm not feeding myself that joy of the chase and the progress of trying to achieve these things, like I'm really realizing like those things really are pouring joy into myself. And I think when I am not pouring joy into myself, it being me doing it, then I go for food. And I think that's just something that I have to, you know, admit about myself, I guess, and realize like I have to constantly like pour into myself, otherwise I'm going to do it with food. And so I need to be 2 steps ahead, so that when I hit one goal, I'm already, you know, thinking about how I'm going to achieve the next one and getting excited about that. Yeah, and then also another reason why too I think I gained the weight back, which I already said, was, you know, I began to believe that looking a certain way and losing the weight made me feel good about myself. Like achieving that made me feel good about myself. But that, I mean, that does make me feel good about myself, but that's just like a surface level. The like true joy and happiness that I felt for myself, about myself, was in the work that I was doing over time, consistently, hard work, pouring into myself. That was really what made me feel good. It's the hard work of going to the gym and you know, I don't even want to say working on my diet, because when I was pouring into myself, the diet wasn't like, all right, Shalina, let's do really good on the diet today. That's where I am right now. All right, let's see how I'm doing on the diet today. And when I'm in that zone, it's not like that. I'm so satisfied with the pouring into myself that I just don't want those foods anymore. There's no like desire for it. And sometimes I'd be like, wow, I'd realize like, wow, I don't even have any desire. I haven't eaten junk food in months and I'm good. And that's where I know that I'm at my best, is when I don't have that desire for it anymore. Instead of the like, you know, trying to resist. There's no resistance, because I just don't have the desire for it when I'm pouring into myself. So that's something that I'm really trying to ingrain. And, you know, it's the day after Christmas, so this is a good time to get that ball rolling and really keep focusing on where I want to go. So that's my big step right now, is trying to plan out like, okay, I need to make small actionable steps, but first I need to start with my big goal and then work my way back and make small actionable steps that I can make today, tomorrow. And I think also this has to be something that has to be almost a realistic goal, like something that's within arm's reach, you know, like I can see it actually happening. That needs to be my first big goal. Something that's just like, it's a big goal, but it's just within reach, where it's believable. And I think it's really possible. I have to really believe it's really possible to achieve it in order for me to really like let myself go all in. So I need to decide what that first big goal is going to be, because I feel like whenever I have something that's like, you know, like some big goal, it always feels kind of like, I know it's possible, but you know, how am I going to get there? And so I need to make the first goal something that's like, you know, I think I can do that. So anyways, thank you guys for letting me blabber. But I you know, I feel really happy, because I'm, you know, even though I'm still trying to figure it out and I've got to plan out my goals and what do I want to achieve, like I feel really happy already internally, because I'm pouring into myself by trying to figure this out. I'm pouring into myself with going to the gym every day. I'm pouring into myself by like acknowledging when I'm like, oh, let's get this weight off. And I not stop myself, but I acknowledge when I'm like, I go to try to fix my diet, and remember and remind myself, no, it's about having that drive and what I want to accomplish, and having that motivation and working towards that and pouring into myself that. So, you know, like I think I was saying in another video, it's like everything happens like internally first, you know, and that's where I guess it's happening right now. Like this is where the joy comes from, this work that I'm doing right now, like trying to figure it out and trying to take better care of myself. and do these things for me. It's all happening right now, and I feel good about it, because I know no matter what, I'm gonna keep, even if I don't figure it out, like, I'm gonna keep trying, because I'm not gonna give up. So I feel good already internally, and then I think, you know, as I continue, all in all, you know, when I feel good internally, the outside tends to, I really believe the outside tends to be a side effect of feeling good internally. And I do believe that our external shell is a reflection of our internal shell. Our internal, you guys know what I'm trying to say, is a reflection of what's going on inside. Our external shell is a reflection of what's going on inside. And I feel good about this. I feel good about working to figure it out, because it's a lot easier said than like actually putting into plan. And I remind myself that throughout the day, like, you know, like, oh, I said I was going to do this, but am I actively, you know, putting it into play? And then I'll, you know, make sure I do something. Or anyway, so I'm excited. It feels good. I feel just so much relief just to know that I'm working on a better me. And you know, it's something that I always have to do, and stay 2 steps ahead and figure out what my next goal is, and make sure it's something that, you know, that's something that just internally brings me joy and makes me happy. So anyways, okay, thank you guys. I'm gonna get to the gym. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you guys for being on this journey with me. Sending lots of love. Mwah.